Breaking news coming out of the nation's capital today. Terry McLaurin's contract details have been revealed, and Adam Peters, let's just say his reputation as a tough negotiator, it's well earned. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we're here to talk about everything involving the Washington Commanders. I did not expect to be posting twice this morning, twice in such quick succession. This upload's probably going to completely tank my last video. Go check it out if you didn't see it already. But I had to get this out there because we finally got the details of the McLaurin extension. I say finally, it did just happen less than 48 hours ago, but there was a lot of mystery because when Terry signs this massive $32 million average annual value, it's like, why don't we know the guarantees? Why don't we know incentives? And we heard a signing bonus, $30 million signing bonus, but we didn't get any other information. We do now finally have it. And let's just say, good for Terry that he got all of that money, but the actual breakdown of it does swing in the way of the Commanders. So this is still a team-friendly deal. Guys, I'm going to jump into all this for you to make sure you understand exactly what is going on, not just out on the practice field, but also in the financial books. So if you're excited about this update and about the content on the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button. That's the best way you can support me. Hit the subscribe button if you are new around here, and jump to the comment section as we go through here and leave me your thoughts on this contract, not only what it means for Terry McLaurin, but what it means for the team in general, and just how you walk away from this whole situation. Do you feel like the holdout, the hold in, the back and forth, the constant drama, do you feel like it was worth it? Do you think this is a contract that works for all parties involved? Go to the comment section, leave me your thoughts. I'll be responding to as many as I can, and I will be reading them all. So what had originally been reported as a $32 million $32 million per year, $96 million total package is true to a certain extent, but that's with incentives. The actual base deal, so if Terry just goes out and let's say he catches 20 balls for 400 yards each of the next 3 seasons, and he doesn't earn any of those incentives. We're just talking about the base package. It's 3 years at $87 million total. So that is a $29 million average annual value. That base value there is only 10th among all receivers in the NFL. So much different from the joint 6th that the $32 million with incentives is. Also, this is a big one. There's only $44 million guaranteed dollars in this deal. That will become $50 million if he's on the roster in April of 2027. But even still, that $44 million guaranteed amount, that's only 17th for receivers. I had been comparing this Terry deal to A.J. Brown because they both got 3 years, $96 million. A.J. Brown had 84 of his $96 million guaranteed. We now know that Terry's base deal is actually only 87, and only 44 of that is guaranteed right now. Again, if he is on the team in April 2027, that will convert to $50 million guaranteed. Part of those guaranteed dollars are his contract this season, so not even really biting into the future. The $19.5 million that he's making this year was not previously guaranteed. Now it is. So that with the $30 million signing bonus, that eats up a lot of these guarantees that Terry's getting on this deal. And this is, I had said that the $60 million point was kind of the break even. So anything above that would be a Terry-friendly deal. Anything below that would be a more team-friendly deal. For this to be well below that, and we have learned that the base value of the contract, the average annual value going from $32 to $29 million, this has swung so heavily in the direction of Adam Peters. Don't get me wrong. I'm ecstatic for Terry. The 87, 96 million, whatever this deal becomes for him, 44 million guaranteed. Good job. Like, you got your money, you got your bag, you have all the reason in the world to celebrate. But he did not bend the Commanders and Adam Peters over the barrel or hold their feet to the fire. No, they still made sure that this was a very team-friendly deal. And let me be honest with you, I got no problem with the incentives on this deal. If Terry, what would these incentives be? Let's just say it's something like 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns in a season, 80 receptions. I was reading the different categories. We don't know exactly what the incentives are, but we do know that he has incentives for catches, receiving yards, touchdowns, Pro Bowls, and playoffs. So again, things like getting to 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 80 receptions, a Pro Bowl nomination, and then either playoff qualification or a bonus per playoff win. If he's hitting those incentives, his contract is not a disservice to the team because he's not he's not preventing the team from financially from being in a position to compete if they're actually going out and being competitive, if they're making the playoffs, if they're winning playoff games, if he's getting to the Pro Bowl. He deserves to be paid for the services that he's bringing to the table, but he's also, because it's not guaranteed up front, he doesn't have a reason to slack off or to not approach this with the right mentality. So once again, I just want to say, happy for Terry that he got his money, but boy, did Adam Peters actually do a phenomenal job with this deal. Again, the numbers, $44 million guaranteed, only 17th among all receivers, $29 million average annual value, base value is only 10th in receivers. And in an era where it seems like every new contract is the new standard in the market, for Adam Peters and Lance Newmark and the gang to negotiate this down to a term that is agreeable for the team, especially considering what Terry opened it with. We're getting more and more and more reports now that Terry's team opened these negotiations asking for more than $35 million per year. That would have been second in the NFL. Only Jamar Chase makes more. That would have been ahead of Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and DK Metcalf and Garrett Wilson and AJ Brown and Amon-Ra and Tyreek. All those players, he would have been ahead of them. Again, only Jamar Chase would have been making more. For him to now come down to 10th as part of the base value, it leaves the Commanders with so much financial flexibility in the future. And I know that that's been one of the biggest concerns of all of us, and myself included in that. But we're at a point now where we understand the Commanders are still going to be relatively free to operate. Now, does this mean that they're not going to draft a receiver in the 26 or the 27 draft? No, but it means that Terry is going to be around for the long term, and he won't be completely hamstringing the team's future financial situation. This is important because the Commanders, if you look at their next two free agency classes, I believe they have the fourth most cap space next year and the most the year after. That being said, they're in the bottom three for players under contract in each of those years. So they're going to have to spend the money that they have available to them. It's not like they're stockpiling and waiting for the right priority free agent to come along. No, there's going to have to be a ton of roster turnover. But once again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, with Terry's deal, it does leave them financial flexibility. So let me dive into what this guaranteed money actually means in context of some of the other deals throughout the NFL. So Justin Jefferson's getting $35 million a year. He's getting $110 million guaranteed. However, that is on a much longer, what is this? Is this a 5-year deal? So if we were to bring this down to 3 years, this would be about $66 million guaranteed on a 3-year deal like Terry. Jamar Chase would be getting just below that, about 65, it looks like. CeeDee Lamb is going to be getting about 75 million guaranteed through 3 years. Garrett Wilson is getting 60 million. AJ Brown is getting 84 million, which I already mentioned. DJ Moore is getting 61 million. DK Metcalf is getting 60 million. Amon-Ra is getting, I'm trying to do some quick math. Amon-Ra is getting 59 point something million. Jalen Waddle is getting 59 million. Brandon Ayuk is getting 59 million. So you're seeing those constant numbers there. Terry's, even if it inflates to that $50 million value, which, let's be honest, we're all expecting him to be on the team in April of 2027. But that $50 million value, again, what did I say? It was 17th overall. Maybe it's a slight bit higher on a per year basis. Although I'm looking at these numbers right now, and I actually don't know that that's the case. I think it might actually just be 17th on a per year basis as well. So, I mean, tip of the cap to Adam Peters. I can understand why these negotiations took so long, because if Terry was asking for the exact DK Metcalf contract, it was $33 million per year, and he would have earned $60 million guaranteed through 3 years. So Adam Peters took 4 years off of that base, $1 million off of that, including incentives, $10 million total off of the guaranteed money, and he was able to get Terry to agree. So now all of a sudden, the optics have shifted very drastically. When the reports came out that Terry signed 3 years, 32, it's like, wow, Adam Peters bent the knee. The Commanders they evaluated their situation, they saw what their offense looked like without having Terry on the field, and they said, you know what, we need this guy. Now this is completely switched. I think it's now more looking like Terry realized life was going to go on without him. The Commanders improved their offensive line. They drafted a receiver in Jalen Lane. They brought in a new receiver in Deebo Samuel. They seemingly upgraded their running back room. At least they're comfortable with it. The defense is better. And things were just going on without him. He was taken out of social media posts, and Dan Quinn was still saying the same things he always does about preaching competition. And Adam Peters was not really making a fuss about this publicly. And the team was going to the preseason games, and they're getting dogged, don't get me wrong, but they were moving on business as usual. So I really would be interested to know, and we will in all likelihood never know, but I would be interested to know who called up the other and said, dude, look, we're going to do it. Or was there a communal sense of, look, we have to have one final negotiation and we're not leaving the table until we have this completely sorted out? I don't know. Again, we're probably never going to know those details, but guys, do me a favor. Like I said, go to the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on everything that there is to know about this contract. What do you think? Who do you think got the better side of it? Do you think this is an appropriate valuation? Again, one final time here. 3-year extension worth $87 million base value. That's $29 million average annual value. If he hits his incentives, which include receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns, Pro Bowl, and playoffs, that deal can become a $32 million average annual value. The $44 million of this is guaranteed. That will improve to $50 million if he's on the roster in April 2027. He had a $30 million signing bonus, and his current $19.5 million salary for the 2025 season. It was not guaranteed before. It is now completely guaranteed. Guys, once again, do hit the like button if you enjoyed this update. I'm going to be getting on the road very soon. I'm probably falling behind. I still need to pack a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I got this video out to all of you guys. So again, hit that like button if you appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on my daily uploads, and leave me all of your thoughts. This has been the biggest story of the summer throughout the NFL, and we are finally not only at the resolution, but we're at the debriefing period as well, where we got all the details. So I'm going to go head on out of here. As I always say, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.